Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Bible Summary Series. Today we're starting in Judges chapter 9. After Gideon died, his son Abimelech, the son of Gideon's concubine, went straight to Shechem to talk with his mother's family. He spoke to all of his relatives and said, "Please talk to the men of Shechem for me. Ask them this: what is better for you, to have all 70 sons of Jerubbaal ruling over you, or just one man? And remember, I am your own flesh and blood." Then his relatives went around Shechem, spreading his words in all the people's ears, and they listened. "He is our brother," they said, and their hearts inclined toward Abimelech. So they gave him 70 pieces of silver from the temple of Baal-berith, and with that money Abimelech hired worthless, reckless men who agreed to follow him. Then Abimelech went to his father Gideon's home in Ophrah, and there, on one stone, he slaughtered his own brothers, all 70 sons of Jerubbaal, except one. The youngest, Jotham, escaped because he hid. After this, all the men of Shechem and the people of the house of Millo gathered together at Shechem by the great stone pillar and made Abimelech king. When word of this reached Jotham, he climbed the top of Mount Gerizim and shouted down to them, "Listen to me, men of Shechem, and may God listen to you. There was once a time when the trees went out to choose a king. First they said to the olive tree, 'Reign over us.' But the olive tree said, 'Should I stop making the oil that honors God and man just to rule over the other trees?' So the trees went to the fig tree. 'Come, reign over us,' they said. But the fig tree said, 'Should I forsake my sweetness and good fruit to be promoted over the trees?' Then they went to the vine. 'You come, reign over us.' But the vine replied, 'Should I leave my wine, that cheers both God and man, just to rule over other trees?' So finally the trees turned to the bramble bush. 'Come, you reign over us,' they said. And the bramble said, 'If you are truly and sincerely anointing me king, then come and take refuge in my shadow. But if not, let fire come out of the bramble and devour the cedars of Lebanon.' Then Jotham explained the parable. 'Now then, if you have acted honestly and in good faith by making Abimelech king, if you have treated Jerubbaal and his household rightly, and have repaid him according to what his actions deserved, for remember this, my father fought for you. He risked his life to the fullest and rescued you from the hand of Midian. Yet today you have turned against my father's house. You have slaughtered his 70 sons on one stone, and made Abimelech, the son of his concubine, king over the men of Shechem, simply because he is your brother. If you have truly acted with honesty and integrity toward Jerubbaal and his household this day, then rejoice in Abimelech, and let him rejoice in you. But if you have not acted justly, then let fire come out from Abimelech and consume the men of Shechem and of the house of Millo, and let fire come out from the men of Shechem and the house of Millo and consume Abimelech." After saying this, Jotham ran away and fled to a place called Beer and stayed there for fear of his brother Abimelech. For 3 years Abimelech ruled over Israel. Then God sent an evil spirit between Abimelech and the men of Shechem, and the men of Shechem began to deal treacherously with Abimelech. This happened so that the violence done to the 70 sons of Jerubbaal would be repaid, so that their blood would rest on Abimelech, their brother who murdered them, and also on the men of Shechem who helped him carry out the slaughter. The leaders of Shechem set men in ambush against Abimelech on the mountain tops, and they robbed everyone who passed by them on the road, and it was reported to Abimelech. Around that time, a man named Gal, son of Ebed, arrived in Shechem with his relatives, and the people of Shechem put their confidence in him. During the grape harvest, the people went out to the vineyards, gathered the grapes, trampled them to make wine, and celebrated. They went into the temple of their God, ate, drank, and cursed Abimelech. Gal stood up and said, "Who is Abimelech, and what is Shechem, that we should serve him? Isn't he just a son of Jerubbaal?" and Zebul is his officer? We should serve the descendants of Hamor, the founder of Shechem. Why should we serve him? If only these people were under my command, I would get rid of Abimelech." Then he said to Abimelech, "Build up your army and come out and fight." When Zebul, the ruler of the city and Abimelech's ally, heard Gal's words, he was furious. He secretly sent messengers to Abimelech, saying, "Gal, son of Ebed, and his brothers have come to Shechem, and they're turning the whole city against you. Now come at night, you and your men, and lay in wait in the fields. Then in the morning, as soon as the sun rises, get up early and attack the city. And when Gal and his men come out to fight, do to them whatever you see fit." So Abimelech and his troops went by night and set ambushes around Shechem in 4 companies. The next morning, Gal came out and stood at the entrance of the city gate. Suddenly, he saw people moving down from the mountains. He said to Zebul, "Look, people are coming down from the mountaintops." But Zebul said, "Oh, you're seeing the shadows of the mountains. It just looks like men." But Gal spoke again. "No, look, people are coming down from the center of the land, and another group is coming from the direction of the plain of Meonanim." Then Zebul said, "Where is your big talk now? The talk where you said, 'Who is Abimelech that we should serve him?' Well, there are the men you despised. Go out and fight them." So Gal went out with the men of Shechem and fought against Abimelech. But Abimelech chased him, and Gal fled. Many of his men fell wounded all the way to the entrance of the city gate. Then Abimelech stayed at Arumah, and Zebul drove Gal and his relatives out of Shechem, so they could no longer live there. The next day, the people of Shechem went out into the fields again. When Abimelech heard about it, he took his men, divided them into 3 groups, and set another ambush. When he saw the people coming out of the city, he rose up and attacked them. Abimelech and 1 company rushed forward to block the city gate so no one could return. The other 2 companies swept through the fields and struck down everyone they found. Abimelech fought the city all day. He captured it, killed the people inside it, tore the city down, and scattered salt over the ruins. When all the men of the Tower of Shechem heard what had happened, they fled into the stronghold of the temple of the god Berith. Abimelech was told that all the men of the Tower of Shechem had gathered there, so he went up Mount Zalmon with all the people who were with him. He took an axe, cut down a large branch from the trees, lifted it onto his shoulder, and said to his men, "What you've seen me do, hurry and do the same." Then every man cut a branch and followed him. They stacked the branches against the stronghold and set it on fire. All the people inside the Tower of Shechem died, about 1,000 men and women. After that, Abimelech went on to Thebez. He surrounded the city, attacked it, and captured it. But inside the city there was a strong tower, and all the men and women fled into it. They shut the door and climbed up to the top. Abimelech moved toward the tower to burn it down, just like he did in Shechem. But as he approached the entrance, a certain woman dropped an upper millstone down from the top, right onto Abimelech's head, and crushed his skull. Knowing he was mortally wounded, Abimelech quickly called to his young armor-bearer and said, "Draw your sword and kill me, so people won't say a woman killed him." So the young man ran him through, and Abimelech died. When the Israelites saw that Abimelech was dead, everyone went home. Thus God repaid Abimelech for all the evil he had done to his father's household by murdering his 70 brothers. And God also brought all the evil of the men of Shechem back upon their own heads. In the end, the curse spoken by Jotham, son of Jerubbaal, came upon them. In Judges chapter 10, after Abimelech, God raised up a man to protect Israel named Tola, the son of Puah, the son of Dodo. He was from the tribe of Issachar and lived in Shamir in the hill country of Ephraim. Tola judged Israel for 23 years. When he died, he was buried in Shamir. After him came Jair the Gileadite, who judged Israel for 22 years. He had 30 sons, and each of them rode on 30 young donkeys. Together they governed 30 cities in the land of Gilead, cities that are still known as Havoth-Jair to this day. Then Jair died and was buried in Canaan. But after his death, the people of Israel once again did evil in the sight of the Lord. They turned away and began serving Baal and Ashtaroth, along with the gods of Syria, Sidon, Moab, Ammon, and the Philistines. They completely abandoned the Lord and refused to serve him. Because of this, the Lord's anger burned against Israel. He handed them over to the Philistines and to the Ammonites. For 18 years, the Ammonites cruelly oppressed the Israelites who lived east of the Jordan River in the land of the Amorites, that is, in Gilead. Then the Ammonites crossed the Jordan River and began attacking Judah, Benjamin, and the house of Ephraim as well. Israel was in deep distress. At last, the people of Israel cried out to the Lord and said, "We have sinned against you. We have abandoned our God and served the Baals instead." And the Lord said unto the children of Israel, "Did I not deliver you from the Egyptians, the Amorites, the Ammonites, and the Philistines? Also the Sidonians, the Amalekites, and the Maonites. When they oppressed you, and you cried out to me, I delivered you from their hands. But you have turned away from me and served other gods. Therefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry out to the gods you have chosen. Let them save you in your time of trouble." Then the people of Israel said to the Lord, "We have sinned. Do to us whatever seems right to you. Only please deliver us this day." So they removed the foreign gods from among them and returned to serving the Lord. And the Lord's heart was moved with compassion over Israel's misery. Soon after this, the Ammonites gathered their forces and camped in Gilead, and the Israelites assembled and camped at Mizpah. The leaders and people of Gilead said one to another, "Whoever is willing to step forward and lead the fight against the Ammonites will become the head over all the people of Gilead." Judges chapter 11. Now Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty warrior, a man known for courage and strength. But he was also the son of a harlot, and his father was Gilead. Gilead's wife bore him other sons, and as those sons grew up, they drove Jephthah away and said to him, "You will not have any inheritance in our father's house, because you are the son of another woman." So Jephthah fled from his brothers and settled in the land of Tob. While he lived there, a group of reckless men gathered around him and went on raids with him. Some time passed. Then the Ammonites went to war against Israel. When the fighting began, the elders of Gilead went to Tob to bring Jephthah back. They said to him, "Come with us and be our commander, so we can fight against the Ammonites." But Jephthah answered them, "Didn't you hate me? Didn't you drive me out of my father's house? Why come to me now? Only because you're in trouble?" The elders replied, "That is why we are turning to you now. Come with us, fight the Ammonites, and you will be head over all the people of Gilead." Jephthah said, "If you bring me back to fight the Ammonites, and the Lord gives them into my hand, will I truly be your leader?" The elders answered, "The Lord is our witness. We will do exactly as you say." So Jephthah went back with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head and commander over them. At Mizpah, Jephthah spoke all his words before the Lord. Before going to battle, Jephthah sent messengers to the king of Ammon, asking, "What do you have against me, that you have come to fight in my land?" The king of Ammon replied, "When Israel came up out of Egypt, they took my land, from the Arnon to the Jabbok, all the way to the Jordan. Now return it peacefully." Then Jephthah sent messengers back with this reply, Israel did not take the land of Moab or the land of the Ammonites. But when Israel came out of Egypt, they traveled through the wilderness to the Red Sea and came to Kadesh. From there, Israel sent messengers to the king of Edom, asking permission to pass through his land, but he refused. They also asked the king of Moab, and he refused as well. So Israel stayed at Kadesh. Then Israel went around Edom and Moab, traveling through the wilderness. They came to the east side of Moab and camped beyond the Arnon, without crossing into Moab's territory, because the Arnon marked Moab's border. Israel then sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Amorites, who ruled in Heshbon, asking permission to pass peacefully through his land. But Sihon did not trust Israel. Instead, he gathered his army, camped at Jahaz, and attacked Israel. And the Lord, the God of Israel, delivered Sihon and his people into Israel's hands. Israel defeated them and took possession of all the land of the Amorites, from the Arnon to the Jabbok, and from the wilderness to the Jordan. So now the Lord God of Israel has driven out the Amorites before his people Israel, and will you now force us out? Will you not possess what Chemosh your God gives you to possess? In the same way, whatsoever the Lord our God is driven out before us, we will possess. Are you any better than Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab? Did he ever challenge Israel? Did he ever fight against them? Israel lived in Heshbon and its towns, in Aroer and its towns, and in all the cities along the Arnon for 300 years. Why didn't you try to take them back during that time? I have done you no wrong. You are the one acting unjustly by making war against me. Let the Lord, the judge, decide today between Israel and Ammon. But the king of Ammon refused to listen to Jephthah's message. Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon Jephthah. He passed through Gilead and Manasseh, went on to Mizpah of Gilead, and from there marched out to face the Ammonites. Before the battle, Jephthah made a vow to the Lord. He said, "If you will surely give the Ammonites into my hands, then when I return home in peace, whatever comes out of the door of my house to meet me will belong to the Lord, and I will offer it as a burnt offering." Jephthah went out to fight the Ammonites, and the Lord delivered them into his hands. He struck them down from Aroer all the way to Minnith. He captured 20 cities, and as far as the plain of the vineyards, with a very great slaughter. In this way, the Ammonites were subdued before Israel. When Jephthah returned home to Mizpah, his daughter came out the door to meet him, playing tambourines and dancing in celebration. She was his only child. He had no other sons or daughters. When Jephthah saw her, he tore his clothes and cried out, "Oh no, my daughter, you have brought me very low, and you have become my great sorrow, for I have made a vow to the Lord, and I cannot take it back." But she said to him, "My father, if you have made a vow to the Lord, then do to me what you have promised, since the Lord has given you victory over your enemies, the Ammonites." Then she said, "Grant me this one request. Give me 2 months, that I may go into the mountains with my friends and mourn my virginity." And he said, "Go." So he sent her away for 2 months, and she went with her companions and mourned her virginity in the mountains. And at the end of the 2 months she returned to her father, and he did to her according to the vow he had made, and she knew no man. And from that time on it became a custom in Israel that the daughters of Israel went each year to weep for the daughter of Jephthah the Gileadite for 4 days.
When Gideon lay silent beneath Ephra's ground, his son went whispering through Shechem town. Why rule by 70 divided and slow, when one strong hand could take the throne? Silver rang out from Baal's dark shrine, blood was spilled on a single stone line. One brother lived, the youngest hid, and a crown was raised for Abimelech's bed. Fire from the bramble, judgment waits for the violent man. From Jerusalem's height, young Jotham cried. Trees once searched for a king to guide. The olive refused, the fig turned away. The vine would not rule for pride or sway. So they crowned the thorn, the biting bush, who offered no fruit, no shade, no hush. If you false he won't, then let it be known, fire will consume from thorn to throne. Fire from the bramble, fire in the land. What's built on blood won't forever stand. What you sow will rise again. Judgment waits for the violent man. Judgment waits for the violent man. 3 years passed and the pact decayed. Friends turned knives in vineyard shade. God spoke proud with wine-soaked breath, defying the king, inviting death. By night came blades through field and gate. The city learned its trust too late. Salt on stones and smoke on air. 1,000 burned in Barry's lair. Fire from the bramble, fire in the land. What's built on blood won't forever stand. What you sow will rise again. Judgment waits for the violent man. No throne escapes the judge of all. No crown outpaces justice call. The curse once spoken finds its day. The debt of blood will still be paid. At the base tower the fire drew near, till a woman's hand struck down his fear. A stone fell true, the skull was torn, and pride met dust where kings are born. Say not a woman did me, he cried, yet truth stood still when a sword replied. So God repaid the wicked score, and Israel went home once more. Fire from the bramble, fire in the land. What's built on blood won't forever stand. What you sow will rise again. Judgment waits for the violent man. So sow not the flesh. You will reap death, for God will not be mocked, and justice will not be denied. So to the Spirit, only then will you reap life. Only then will you reap life. Only then will you reap life.